Hi everyone, this is Jen Passavant, intuitive spiritual life coach, energy healing practitioner, and channeler. And today I wanted to talk to you about something that's come up recently a few times in conversations that I've had with people, and that is the topic of the difference between selfish love and selfless love. So to start, I'll describe selfish love because I think it's the most easy to recognize within others and ourselves. So selfish love would be anytime you are loving solely for the sake of getting something from somebody else. So be it time, attention, affection, love, all of which are forms of validation. So it would also look like if you don't get those things, you are angry with them for not giving them to you. So an example of this would be something, I had a conversation with someone recently who was experiencing this. And he said, I did so much healing on her and I gave her so much of myself and so much love and I didn't get anything in return. And he was very angry. And I said, well, that's because you were loving her selfishly as opposed to selflessly. Because you had placed the expectation and the responsibility that she give you something in return, as opposed to just loving her for the sake of loving her. So you weren't doing those things in terms of healing her and giving of yourself for the sake of healing her and giving of yourself. You weren't doing it for her. You were doing it with the agenda to get something back. So that is a really good example of selfish love. So anytime you are, placing expectations on a relationship, that's selfish love. And anytime you, after having placed said expectations and you didn't get those expectations or conditions met, you are then hurt, angry, resentful. That's all a result of having loved selfishly. And people typically love selfishly because they have a wound and they are placing the responsibility that wound be healed in somebody else's hands. So I can't love myself, so I expect you to do it for me. I can't heal myself, so I expect you to do it for me. I can't validate myself, so I expect you to do it for me. And of course, they can learn to love themselves. They can heal their wounds. They can validate themselves. They just don't know how. So that's basically selfish love. And selfless love is when you love for the sake of loving. You're not trying to get anything from someone. You're not placing any expectations on what the relationship looks or feels like. You're just loving because it feels good to love. And if you get love back, great. If not, you're not out anything because you gave it willingly and wantingly, without any expectation of anything in return. If the person leaves, whether it's temporarily or permanently, you allow them to, because selfless love loves freely and says, I want for you what you want for you. So if you want or need to leave temporarily or permanently, I will allow that and I will love you through it. And I will be here if you need me. And if not, I'm still going to love you. It's not about loving someone else. Isn't about they don't even have to know about it because it's not for them, really. Loving them is for you. That's the best way I can describe it. And it's just for the joy of loving others. So I hope that's a good way to describe it. I hope you understand what I'm saying. And I know a lot of people who are wounded would say, well, I have every right to expect to be loved back. You do have the right. It's still selfish love, but you do have that right. Absolutely. Just know that you are in placing that expectation, you are doing so because you are unable in some way to give that love to yourself. When you love yourself so wholly and completely, deeply and fearlessly, with no conditions or expectations for you to be anyone or anything other than who you are in this now moment, you don't need the love of another. You don't need the time and attention of another. You don't need the validation of another, because you're giving it to yourself. So then any love, time, attention, affection that you get from somebody else then becomes an added bonus, as opposed to an expectation, a requirement that you, if you don't get, you're upset about. So I hope you all understand what I'm trying to express here. And if you feel triggered by this, look at that, because that means there's a wound surrounding it. Anytime we're poked or triggered or made to be choose to respond with being upset, anytime we're triggered, it's because a wound is being poked. So it's not about me and it's not me that's triggering you so much as there's a wound that's being poked. So instead of looking at me and what I'm saying and being upset with me, use this as an opportunity, as the opportunity that it really is, which is to look within at why it's triggering you. Why is it upsetting you? Why is it triggering you? So I hope that helps. And I hope you're able to then maybe step back and say, am I loving everyone selflessly? Because you can love some people selfishly and some people selflessly, depending on what wounds you're carrying, and who might trigger those wounds, or wherever those wounds came from. But you can love these people selflessly, but this person selfishly. So it's not like someone just loves everybody selfishly. That can happen, but there's no such thing as anything being across the board definitive. So just take a look at your relationships and how you respond to people, how you've responded to people in the past, any wounds you might have, that sort of thing. So anyway, yeah, I hope this has brought some enlightenment or shed some light on some things for people, because that's the whole point. I'm not just talking to talk. So anyway, I hope you have a great rest of your day. And if you have any comments or anything you'd like to say about this topic, I would love to hear them. So thank you so much for your time. Have a great rest of your day.